In preparation for a possible war with America, Iran is reportedly strengthening its air defenses around its capital, Avifes. But this move is not simply moving some military vehicles to a new location. From commercial satellite imagery analyzed by open-source observers, it is clear that the long-range air system, S-300 is stationed in the southern region of Tehran. But what makes it even more interesting is that this system is not standing alone. Around it are also seen electronic warfare vehicles, a high-power signal jamming system made in Iran. This combination shows one important thing, namely that Iran does not only want to shoot down threats from the sky, but also wants to make the enemy difficult, even before the attack begins. When we talk about modern warfare, we have to change the old way of thinking. In the past, many people imagined that air war began with fighter jets directly firing missiles. But before a missile was released, there was a long process called the attack chain in the initial stage. Reconnaissance aircraft, satellite drones, and long-range radars worked to search for and identify targets, after which the data was sent to the command center for analysis. Then only then the attack is planned. If this stage alone has been disturbed, then the whole operation could fall apart. In this context, the Cobra V8 plays its role. This system is not an ordinary radar. It is not a tool to see the enemy, but a tool to disrupt the enemy's ability. View in appearance, many analysts assess the Cobra V8 has similarities with the Russian system Krausa 4. The shape of the antenna is large and striking, but its main function is not to shoot down. It is a tool used to attack the electromagnetic spectrum that the opponent uses for radar, communications, and some satellite systems. Simply put, modern aircraft rely heavily on radar and sensors. Radar helps pilots see targets from a distance, even in bad weather or at night. Furthermore, aircraft also rely on data communications with other aircraft, ships, or command centers. These all operate through electromagnetic waves. If these waves are disrupted, the radar image can become blurry, communication signals can be disrupted, and coordination can be disrupted. Some reports suggest that systems like the Cobra V8 can operate on the frequency ranges commonly used by modern fighter, jet radars, and reconnaissance systems. This means they have the potential to disrupt early warning aircraft like the E-3 Sentry or ground surveillance aircraft like the E-8 G-Star. If these platforms are disrupted, their ability to map the overall battle situation is reduced. The impact is certainly significant, as aircraft like these often serve as the eyes and brains of large-scale air operations. Now imagine the situation. A package attack is planned in detail. Reconnaissance aircraft are describing the attack area. Fighter jets are preparing to carry precision weapons, and all data is connected through a sophisticated communications network. Suddenly, the radar begins to lose clarity. Some communication signals disturbed. The data received is certainly no longer as accurate as before. In conditions like this, decisions certainly become more difficult. Pilots may have to be forced to fly closer to ensure the target, but the closer they get in, the greater the risk they face. At that point, the S-300 plays its role. This system is a direct and deadly defense layer. With a range of up to about 200 km for air targets, the S-300 is able to threaten aircraft that fly too close. It does not only rely on one radar or one missile. This system is integrated from several components, namely search radar, fire control radar, command center, and missile launcher, all working in one integrated network. Iran itself obtained the S-300 after a long process and full of political dynamics. The contract was originally signed in 2007, but delivery was delayed due to international sanctions. But after renegotiations, the system was finally accepted and is believed to be close to the BMU-2 standard. Since then, the S-300 has become one of the backbones of Iran's long-range air defense. Now, when the S-300 and the Cobra V8 are placed close together, the effect is not just the addition of two different capabilities, it is a synergy. The Cobra V8 tries to disrupt the opponent's situational awareness, while the S-300 is ready to attack when the opponent is forced to approach or loses sensory superiority. So, one system is used to disrupt, and the other is used to shoot down. The placement location in the south of Tehran is not arbitrary either. This area is one of the logistical approaches, in case of threats from the Persian Gulf or the southwest. By placing the system there, Iran creates a layer of protection before the threat reaches the central government. The region itself is not just a city, it is the political, military, and administrative center of the country. Many important facilities and headquarters are located in and around the capital. Therefore, defending it means maintaining national stability. This step also reflects Iran's learning from modern conflicts. In many Western military operations, the initial phase always focuses on destroying the opponent's air defense system. These attacks usually involve stealth aircraft, cruise missiles, long-range cyber attacks, and electronic interference. If the air defense is successfully weakened on the first day, subsequent attacks will be much easier. Iran seems to be trying to avoid such a scenario by deploying a joint electronic warfare system, a long-range air defense system. They want to ensure that the initial phase of the conflict becomes difficult for the attacker. It is hoped that even before the missile is fired, the signal jammer will already be working. This can slow the tempo of the attack and force the attacker to change plans. But of course, the real effectiveness of this system will depend heavily on integration and training. Sophisticated systems will not be maximized if they are not connected. In a solid command and control network, coordination between radars, jammers and launchers must run smoothly. In addition, what must not be forgotten, the opponent also has technology, anti-jamming and tactics to deal with electronic interference. So this is not an invulnerable combination, but rather part of the competition. Technology is constantly evolving in the end. The essence of all this is the changing way of fighting in the modern era. Air dominance is not only determined by the number of fighter jets or the sophistication of missiles, it is also determined by who is able to control the electromagnetic spectrum. Communication radars and satellites are the foundation of today's military operations. If the foundation is disturbed, then the building strategy will also falter. By deploying S-300 and Cobra V-8 around Tehran, Iran is trying to create a difficult environment for anyone who intends to attack. Not only the threat of missiles that the enemy must face, but also signal jamming, which can cover the planning and execution of attacks. This is a more complex and more realistic defensive approach to modern air power. Then is this enough to completely cover the sky of Tehran? Unfortunately, no defense system can really guarantee 100%. But what is clear is that Iran does not want to rely on just one layer. They are building a combination of jamming capabilities and shooting capabilities. Though in modern warfare, victory is often determined not only by who shoots first, but by who can see better and think faster. And with this move, Iran is trying to ensure that if one day a major conflict occurs, they will not be caught blind in the sky over their own capital.